Ambassador Lee Hanna walked into the huge meeting room on Galactic Council Station Omega-7. She fixed her fancy clothes again. This was the third time she did it this morning. She felt nervous, but tried not to show it. 3 months ago, humans met aliens for the first time. Since then, every day felt like a big headache. The aliens did not understand humans at all. They thought humans were scary and dangerous. The meeting room was enormous. It had a high ceiling with bright lights. There were seats for many different types of aliens. Some aliens had 4 arms, others had blue skin. Some looked like giant bugs. They all stared at Hannah when she walked in. "The human plan is very bad," said the Zeltharian delegate. He waved all 4 of his arms in the air. His voice was loud and angry. "Humans are too rough when they talk to us. They are not civilized like us." Hannah took a deep breath. She had heard this same complaint many times before. Her helper, Kim Tae, stood behind her. He could see that Hannah was getting upset. Her eyes looked tired and frustrated. "Dear friend," Hannah said in a calm voice, "when we humans say, 'Let's cut to the chase,' we just want to talk faster. We do not want to cut anything with a knife." The computer that changed languages made strange beeping sounds. It could not understand what Hannah meant. The human language had too many confusing phrases. All around the room, different aliens whispered to each other. They used words like violent and dangerous when they talked about humans. They thought humans were always ready to fight. The Kethmori representative, who looked like a tall bird, spoke next. "Yesterday, a human said he would kill 2 birds with 1 stone. This is clearly a threat against my people." Hannah rubbed her forehead. No, that just means doing 2 things at the same time. Nobody wants to hurt birds." "But you mentioned stones as weapons," said another alien with 6 eyes. "It is just a saying," Hannah explained. "Like when we say it's raining cats and dogs, we do not mean real animals are falling from the sky." The aliens looked even more confused and scared. They thought humans were completely crazy. For 2 long hours, Hannah tried to explain human words and phrases. She told them that break a leg meant good luck, not actual bone breaking. She explained that killing time did not involve murder. She said that dead tired just meant very sleepy, but every explanation made things worse. The aliens became more convinced that humans talked about violence all the time. They thought every human sentence was a hidden threat. The meeting was supposed to be about trade agreements. Humans wanted to share their technology with aliens. They wanted to be friends and work together. But instead, they spent all their time talking about language problems. Kim Tae watched his boss carefully. He knew Hannah very well. She was usually very patient and kind. She never got angry in public, but today was different. Her hands were shaking, a little bit. Her jaw was tight. She was reaching her limit. "Perhaps we should end today's session," said the meeting leader, an ancient alien called a voice. "We are not making progress." "Wait," Hannah said. She stood up slowly, her papers scattered on the floor. Kim Tae quickly bent down to pick them up. All the aliens stopped talking. They watched Hannah carefully. Something in her voice had changed. "I have been sitting here for 3 months, Hannah said. Her voice was still quiet, but it sounded different now. "I have explained the same things over and over. I have been polite and patient. I have answered every question, no matter how silly." The room became very quiet. Even the humming of the space station's machine seemed louder. "I came here to make friends," Hannah continued. "I wanted our people to work together. I wanted to build something good for everyone." She picked up her bag and put the papers inside. Her movements were slow and careful. "You know what?" she said, looking around the room at all the alien faces. "I'm starting to get actually annoyed." The effect was immediate and shocking. Several aliens jumped out of their seats. Others started backing away from Hannah. The Zeltharian delegates' forearms began shaking. The bird-like Kethmori made frightened, chirping sounds. Within seconds, half the aliens in the room found reasons to leave. They said they had important phone calls to make. They remembered urgent meetings. They suddenly felt sick and needed to see doctors. By the time Hannah and Kim Tae walked out of the meeting room, most of the aliens had disappeared. "Boss," Kim Tae said, as they walked down the long hallway. "Did you see what happened when you said you were annoyed?" Hannah stopped walking. She thought about it for a moment. Yes, that was very strange. They all ran away so fast. Maybe they are afraid of angry humans, Kim Tae suggested. "But I was not even angry," Hannah said. "I was just a little bit annoyed. There is a big difference." They did not know that this small moment would change everything between humans and aliens. They did not know that across the galaxy, other humans were having the same strange experiences. They did not know that aliens had completely misunderstood what it meant when humans got annoyed. All they knew was that something very weird had just happened, and they needed to figure out why. Captain Park Min looked out the big window of his spaceship, the UES Defiance. In front of him were 3 enemy ships. They were Vorthan pirates, and they were very bad people. The pirates had caught a ship full of innocent families. Now they wanted money to let the families go free. Parkman was a good captain. He had short black hair and calm eyes. He never shouted or got excited, even when things were dangerous. His crew trusted him because he always stayed cool. "This is Captain Parkman of the human ship Defiance," he said into his microphone. "Let the people go, and we will not hurt you. You can fly away safely." The pirate leader's voice came through the speakers. It sounded scratchy and mean because the computer had to change his alien language into human words. "No way, human. We want 1 million credits and safe passage through your space. Give us this, or the families die." Parkman sighed quietly. He had been talking to these pirates for 20 minutes now. They kept asking for more and more money. The families on the captured ship were probably very scared. Lieutenant Choi Yuna stood next to her captain. She was young and smart, with long black hair tied back neatly. She watched Parkman's face carefully. She had worked with him for 2 years, and knew all his expressions. "Pirates, listen to me," Parkman said again. His voice was still calm and friendly. "We are not giving you any money. Just let the people go. This is your last chance to do the right thing." "Never," the pirates shouted. "We are not afraid of humans. Your ship is smaller than ours. We have bigger weapons." This was true. The 3 pirate ships were much larger than the Defiance. They had more guns and more people. In a normal fight, the pirates would probably win, but Parkman was not worried about losing a fight. He was getting tired of talking to these stupid pirates. They were wasting his time, and innocent people were in danger. "Look," Parkman said, and now his voice sounded a little different. Choi Yuna noticed the change right away. "I have been very patient with you. I have been polite and reasonable, but now I'm getting annoyed." The communication channel went completely silent. No more scratchy pirate voices. No more demands for money. Nothing. Then something amazing happened. All 3 pirate ships suddenly turned around and flew away as fast as they could. They left the captured family ship floating alone in space. Within 10 seconds, the pirates had jumped into hyperspace and disappeared completely. Parkman stared at the empty space where the enemy ships had been just moments before. His mouth hung open in surprise. "Sir," Choi Yuna said, her voice full of confusion. "They just ran away. Why did they do that?" "I have absolutely no idea," Parkman answered honestly. "That was the strangest thing I have ever seen." The family ship sent them a message right away. "Thank you, human ship. You saved our lives. How did you make the pirates leave so quickly?" Parkman did not know what to say. "We, you asked them nicely." Far away from Parkman's ship, similar strange things were happening all across the galaxy. On the planet Zarian, for a human businessman named Li Dong was trying to buy materials for his company. The alien seller kept raising the price higher and higher. "This is getting ridiculous," Li Dong said. "I'm starting to get annoyed with these games." The alien seller immediately agreed to the original low price and threw in free shipping. On Space Station Gamma 9, Commander Kim Soo was arguing with alien customs officers. They wanted to search her cargo for no good reason. The search would take many hours and cost a lot of money. "I've been patient long enough," Kim Soo said. "Now I'm actually getting annoyed." The customs officers quickly stamped her papers and let her ship leave without any search at all. These weird events kept happening everywhere humans went. Every time a human said they were getting annoyed or frustrated, aliens would suddenly become very cooperative. Sometimes they would run away completely, just like the pirates did. Dr. Song Wook worked at a research station far from Earth. He was a smart man who studied alien behavior and psychology. He started collecting reports about these strange incidents. His computer files grew bigger and bigger every day. Incident number 847, he typed on his computer. Human cargo pilot Kim Min said he was getting tired of this nonsense during a shipping dispute. Alien Port Authority immediately waived all fees and offered free fuel. Dr. Song Wook scratched his head. He had 847 different reports now, all exactly the same. Humans would express mild annoyance or frustration, and aliens would panic and give them whatever they wanted. "There has to be a reason for this," he said to himself. "Aliens are not stupid. Why do they act so scared when humans get a little bit annoyed?" He made graphs and charts trying to understand the pattern. Every single case was the same. The human would stay calm and polite for a long time. Then they would mention being annoyed or frustrated. Then the aliens would immediately back down or run away. Dr. Song Wook had no idea that across the galaxy, alien governments were holding secret meetings about the human threat. He did not know that they had completely misunderstood what human annoyance meant. He just knew that something very strange was happening, and he needed to figure out what it was before it caused real problems between humans and aliens. Dr. Song Wook sat at his desk, looking at his computer screen. His eyes were red and tired from reading so many reports. He had been working for 12 hours straight, trying to understand why aliens acted so strangely around humans. "This is very interesting," he said quietly to himself. He picked up another report and started reading. This one was about a human teacher named Park Ji, who got frustrated with alien students. When she said, "I'm getting a bit annoyed with all this noise," the entire class of alien children ran out of the room crying. Commander Yoon Jae walked into the office carrying 2 cups of hot coffee. He was Dr. Song Wook's best friend and research partner. Yoon Jae was tall and thin, with glasses that made him look very smart. He put 1 coffee cup on Song Wook's desk. "You need to take a break," Yoon Jae said. "You have been staring at that screen all day." "I cannot stop now," Song Wook replied. "Look at this data. It is amazing." Yoon Jae sat down in the chair next to his friend's desk. He looked at the numbers on the computer screen. 847 cases of aliens running away when humans get a little bit annoyed, he read out loud. "There must be a good reason for this." Song Wook nodded and clicked to the next page. Every single case is exactly the same. The human stays calm and polite for a long time. Then they say something like, "I'm getting annoyed," or "This is frustrating." Then boom, the aliens panic and run away or give the human whatever they want. "Maybe aliens just do not like conflict," Yoon Jae suggested. "No, that is not it," Song Wook said, shaking his head. "Look at this report from yesterday. A human diplomat named Kim Bo was negotiating with the Zentarian Empire. The aliens were being very rude and demanding. Kim Bo stayed patient for 3 hours. Then she said, "Okay. Now I'm actually getting annoyed." The entire Zentarian delegation immediately agreed to all human demands and apologized 50 times. Yoon Jae frowned. "That does not make sense." The Zentarians are known for being tough negotiators. They never give up easily. What the two human researchers did not know was that far away, in the secret headquarters of the Galactic Defense Institute, alien military leaders were having emergency meetings about humans. The Galactic Defense Institute was like the alien version of a military school. They studied different species and figured out how dangerous they were. 3 weeks ago, they had sent out a top-secret document to all alien governments. The document was called Human Escalation Indicators and Recommended Responses. It was marked with big red letters that said, "Extremely classified, do not share with humans." Inside this secret document was a list of human phrases that aliens should be very afraid of. The list included things like, "I'm getting annoyed," "This is ridiculous," "I'm losing my patience," and the most terrifying phrase of all, "Now, I'm actually getting annoyed." According to the document, these phrases meant that humans were about to enter combat mode. The aliens believed that when humans said these things, they were giving final warnings before starting a fight. The document told all aliens to run away immediately if they heard a human say any of these phrases. Commander Yoon Jae was not just a researcher. He also worked part-time for the Human Diplomatic Service. Because of his job, he sometimes got to see secret alien documents that other humans could not read. One day, while checking his secure email, Yoon Jae found something very interesting. It was the alien military document about human escalation indicators. Someone in the alien government had accidentally sent it to him by mistake. Yoon Jae read the document with growing amazement. His eyes got wider and wider as he understood what was happening. "Song-wook," he shouted, running into his friend's office. "I figured it out. I know why aliens are afraid of us." Song-wook looked up from his computer. "What did you find?" Yoon Jae showed him the secret alien document on his tablet. "Look at this. The aliens think we are threatening them when we say we are annoyed. They believe that human annoyance is the same as a war declaration." Song-wook read the document carefully. His mouth fell open in surprise. "They think I'm getting annoyed. Means I am about to attack you." "Exactly," Yoon Jae said, pointing at the screen. "Look here. It says that when humans express frustration, it indicates imminent combat state activation. They think we are giving them final warnings before we start fighting." The two friends looked at each other and started laughing. It was funny, but also a little bit scary. So when Captain Parkman told those pirates he was getting annoyed, they thought he was about to blow up their ships. Song-wook asked, "Yes." And when Ambassador Lee Hannah said she was actually getting annoyed, the aliens thought she was declaring war on the entire Galactic Council. Song-wook stopped laughing. "This is a serious problem. How can we have good relationships with aliens if they run away every time we show normal human emotions?" "I do not know," Yoon Jae said. "But we need to tell someone about this right away. If we do not fix this misunderstanding, it could cause real problems between humans and aliens." The two researchers began making plans to contact human leadership. They had discovered something that could change the future of human-alien relations forever. Dr. Song-wook and Commander Yoon Jae traveled for 3 days to reach the Architect homeworld. It was a very old planet at the edge of the galaxy. The Architects were the oldest living species in known space. They had been around for millions of years and knew more about galactic history than anyone else. The planet looked strange and beautiful. There were tall crystal towers that reached up to the clouds. The buildings seemed to grow out of the ground like giant trees made of light. Everything glowed with soft colors that changed slowly from blue to purple to green. The two humans walked through the ancient library. It was the biggest library in the galaxy. The walls were covered with millions of glowing symbols that stored information about every species that had ever existed. Some of the records were so old that entire civilizations had been forgotten by everyone except the Architects. SciFi was waiting for them in the deepest part of the library. He was very old. even for an architect. His body looked like it was made of living crystal, and his eyes glowed with soft white light. When he spoke, his words appeared directly in their minds instead of coming through their ears. "Welcome, humans," HFY's voice said inside their heads. "I have been expecting you. Your request for historical information about species similar to yourselves is most interesting." Songwook felt nervous. Being around such an ancient and powerful being made him feel very small. "Thank you for seeing us, honored keeper. We are trying to understand why other species react strangely to human behavior." HFY's crystal body began to glow brighter. Around them, the walls of the library came alive with moving pictures and symbols. "Your species shows patterns we have seen before in galactic history. 3 times, great civilizations have fallen to species that behaved much like humans do today." The walls showed holographic images of ancient wars and destroyed planets. Jay watched in amazement as entire star systems appeared and disappeared before his eyes. "Tell us about these other species," Jay said quietly. The first set of images showed a species that looked almost human, but with gray skin and larger eyes. "The Terran precedent species," HFY explained. "They conquered half the galaxy 2 million years ago. What made them so dangerous was not their weapons or their numbers. It was their attitude." Songwook leaned forward to look more closely at the images. "What do you mean by their attitude?" "They spoke very calmly about terrible things," HFY continued. "When they decided to destroy a planet, they would say things like, 'This is mildly inconvenient,' or 'We are somewhat disappointed in your response.' Then they would make the entire world uninhabitable, all while maintaining perfectly polite conversation." The images changed to show another species. These aliens were taller and had blue skin, but they moved and acted in ways that reminded both humans of themselves. "The quiet ones came next, about 800,000 years ago," HFY said. "They were even more dangerous than the Terran precedent species. When they decided to dismantle an entire star system, they would express mild disappointment in their enemies. They would apologize for the inconvenience, while systematically destroying everything." Jay felt a cold feeling in his stomach. These species, they stayed calm while doing terrible things. "Exactly," HFY replied. "Most species in the galaxy show clear signs when they are preparing for war. They get angry, they make loud threats, they display aggressive behavior. But species like yours, and like these ancient ones, remain calm and polite, even when planning total destruction." The third set of images showed a species that was even more similar to humans. They had the same general body shape, and even similar facial expressions. The final Dawn civilization was the most recent. About 300,000 years ago, HFY explained. They were masters of what they called polite warfare. When they invaded a system, they would send messages saying things like, "We are beginning to find your resistance tiresome," or "This situation is becoming rather annoying." Then they would proceed to completely eliminate all life in that system. Songwook suddenly understood everything. "The other aliens think we are like these ancient species. When we say we are getting annoyed, they think we are about to destroy them." "Yes," HFY confirmed. "In galactic history, when a species, with your behavioral patterns, expresses annoyance or mild frustration, it has always been the final warning before total warfare. Other species have learned to fear those words because they have seen what comes next." Jay asked. "But humans are not planning to destroy anyone when we say we are annoyed. We are just expressing normal emotions." HFY's crystal body pulsed with different colors. "That is what makes your species so frightening to others. The previous species that conquered the galaxy all believed they were being reasonable and justified in their actions. They never saw themselves as monsters. So, when a human says, 'I'm getting annoyed,' other aliens hear, 'I am about to commit genocide,'" Songwook said slowly. "Precisely. Your species exhibits the same emotional control," the same casual attitude toward conflict, and the same ability to discuss violence in conversational tones. From the perspective of other galactic species, humans are behaving exactly like the most dangerous civilizations in history. The two humans sat in silence for a long moment, absorbing this information. They finally understood why aliens were so afraid of human annoyance. It was not about anger or threats. It was about the terrifying calm that humans maintained even when they were frustrated. The most frightening thing about species like yours, HFY concluded, is not your capacity for violence. It is your ability to remain reasonable and polite while exercising that capacity. The biggest meeting room in the entire galaxy was completely full. Every single seat was taken by alien delegates from hundreds of different worlds. Some aliens looked like giant insects. Others had multiple arms or eyes that glowed in the dark. A few were so strange that humans could not even figure out which end was there. Head. Ambassador Lee Hannah walked slowly to the center of the room. She felt nervous, but she did not show it on her face. Behind her walked Dr. Song-wook and Commander Yoon Jae, carrying thick folders full of research data. Captain Parkman was also there, wearing his military uniform with all his medals. Armed security guards stood at every door, but nobody was quite sure who they were supposed to protect. Were they there to keep the aliens safe from humans? Or were they there to keep humans safe from aliens? Everyone seemed confused and scared. The room was so quiet that Hannah could hear her own heartbeat. Hundreds of alien eyes watched her every move. Some delegates were literally shaking with fear. Others had moved their chairs as far away from the humans as possible. Dear friends and honored delegates, Hannah began, speaking in a clear, calm voice. We are here today because there has been a very big misunderstanding between humans and the rest of the galaxy. A blue alien with 4 arms raised one hand nervously. Ambassador Hannah, before you continue, we must ask, are you feeling annoyed today? Because if you are, perhaps we should postpone this meeting. Hannah almost smiled, but she kept her face serious. No, I am not annoyed right now. But that is exactly what we need to talk about. She pointed to a big screen that showed Dr. Song-wook's research. Numbers and charts filled the display. For the past 3 months, my fellow humans and I have been very confused. Every time we expressed normal human emotions, you would all run away or immediately give us whatever we wanted. The room was still completely silent. Some aliens were recording everything with small devices. Others were whispering prayers in their native languages. We finally discovered the truth, Hannah continued. You believe that when humans say we are getting annoyed, we are threatening to destroy you. This is not true. A tall alien that looked like a walking tree spoke up. But the ancient records show that species like yours have destroyed entire civilizations. When they said they were mildly disappointed, billions died. Dr. Song-wook stepped forward. Yes, we learned about those ancient species from the architects. But you need to understand something important. When a human says, I'm getting annoyed, we are not making a threat. We are giving you a polite warning that our patience is being tested. Commander Yoon Jae added, humans do not make threats the way other species do. We give warnings. There is a big difference. Captain Parkman, who had dealt with the pirates earlier, spoke next. When I told those pirates that I was getting annoyed, I was not preparing to attack them. I was telling them that they were being unreasonable and that I was losing patience with their behavior. The alien delegates began murmuring among themselves. They were starting to understand, but they were still scared. The most important thing you need to know about humans, Hannah said, raising her voice slightly, is not that we are capable of anger. The important thing is that we are capable of staying calm and reasonable, even when we are very frustrated. She gestured around the room. For 3 months, you have been treating us like dangerous bombs that might explode at any moment. But the truth is that we have been showing incredible patience and self-control. We have been treating Galactic Politics the same way we treat broken machines or difficult children, with patience and careful problem solving. A small alien with big eyes asked, "So when humans say they are actually getting annoyed, what does that really mean?" Hannah thought carefully before answering. "It means we are giving you our final polite warning. It means we are about to stop being diplomatic and start being direct. It does not mean we are about to start a war." The room erupted in surprised chatter. Aliens turned to each other, discussing this new information in dozens of different languages. An ancient alien leader, who looked like a giant purple jellyfish, floated up to speak. "If this is true, then humans are even more dangerous than we thought. A species that can remain calm and reasonable while dealing with extreme frustration. That is terrifying in a different way." "Why is that terrifying?" Commander Yoon Jae asked. "Because it means you have incredible self-control," the jellyfish alien replied. "Most species lose their ability to think clearly when they get angry, but humans think more clearly when they are frustrated. That makes you very formidable allies, or very dangerous enemies." The meeting continued for several more hours. By the end, the Galactic Council had created new rules called Human Emotional Translation Protocols. These rules helped aliens understand what humans really meant when they expressed frustration or annoyance. As the meeting ended, Kim Tae helped Hannah pack up her papers. "So what happens now?" he asked. Hannah looked around the room. She noticed that the alien delegates were still keeping a respectful distance from the humans, but they no longer looked terrified. Instead, they looked thoughtful and perhaps a little impressed. "Now, we can finally do some real diplomatic work," Hannah said with a small smile. "Though I have to admit, I'm starting to find their fear a little bit annoying." The Zeltharian delegate, who was standing nearby, immediately made an excuse and hurried out of the room.